So this morning I woke up at around 7 o'clock to volunteer my time at a food bank. And I was excited to wake up and go serve because it was like an opportunity to serve the community. I even sat through some traffic to get there. And when I volunteered my time, it was only for like a few hours, but I was willing to do more. I was there, and when they told me, "Oh, that's about it," thanks for the help, I was like, I'm a young guy. I'm ready to work hard. It was like farm work on a food bank farm, and they needed a bunch of like sandbags moved, filled with like fertilizer and stuff. And I was ready to work. I was ready to serve. I could have stayed there longer, but I think that for legal reasons, they have to get us out of the sun quickly because heat stroke and liability issues and stuff like that. But yeah, I was willing to stay there longer and keep working because I was just excited to be a part of a community and doing something that serves people. And even though it was volunteer work, it was free work. There was nothing given to me in return, other than like maybe social brownie points or whatever. But other than that, it was just sort of enlightening to see that I was excited to go work in the sun on a farm. Like, and it's not because I'm like bored being at home because I'm occupying my time doing things or staying busy or whatever. But the fact that I could wake up at 7 in the morning and be on just kind of on my own accord, be like looking forward to working with a group. And there was only four of us there, but the day went over really smoothly. It was only like a few hours. Like I said, I was willing to stay longer, but they could only accept so much help for so long. But I wrote down some notes here I want to go over. I don't prepare a script, and I also don't put a lot of heavy editing in my stuff. But so yeah, I was just excited to go to work, just to help out. It was sort of like, I don't know, it was just nice to not have to work for someone else's money. It was just sort of like something that they were grateful that I was doing. It was like they were genuinely grateful that I volunteered my time. I was serving someone, not just like I wasn't just serving the almighty dollar. It felt like work had meaning behind it. It felt like work did something. It felt like my work was building community or society. Like there was purpose behind it. I wasn't just, sending out fast food products and stuff like that, or working on wires for some billionaire who has a fetish for the moon or whatever. You know what I mean? Sorry, I worked for SpaceX, like a subcontractor for them. So I don't know, but let me go over some of these notes. This might be a little bit longer of a video, but these are just sort of some thoughts that were going through my mind that I jotted down. And so yeah, I think that's the first point that I should get to, is that I'm a young man and my body wants to work. Like, I don't think there's any shame in working. I'm proud to work. I'm happy to work. I've been working for, like a little over 15 years. Right now I'm currently unemployed, but my body wants to work. I want to work, not like a slave, but I'm ready. I'm a young guy. Like, I can carry jugs of water up the stairs to my apartment complex. Like, I'm ready to work like an ox, like that. Obviously I don't want to throw out my back and be in construction or something all day, but you know, I do have like levels of energy that I'm ready to expend on, especially on something that's useful or helpful or that can help people. Like, I have like a heart for like serving people. Like, and I'm not saying that because I'm like trying to, just tout myself as if I'm some sort of amazing person. I genuinely just like being a blessing to people because that's enriching, that's fulfilling. There's something you can take away from that. But I guess, yeah, my body just wants to work. I don't want to be someone's wage slave, which I know sounds counterintuitive to what I'm saying, but I just want meaningful work and and a just compensation for that work. You know what I mean? Uh, for work to be exciting, like I haven't gone to work like any time in the past decade plus where I was like excited to go because I wanted to do something that mattered, because I've never worked anywhere that mattered. I was just doing like some job for some giant corporation that just assigned me a number. Did wasn't wasn't grateful, wasn't anything. They just It was all lip service if they ever said thanks, just for morale. It's probably a handbook written on how to compliment your employees or whatever. I don't know. The point is, I was ready to work and I was happy to have this opportunity. If anything, it was kind of an honor for me to be able to like find it, serve, for everything to be streamlined and so easy, and for me to get the direction that I needed from someone that actually worked on the farm. It was just a good opportunity. I was happy to serve. I was happy to help. My body wants to be in motion again. Um, and so, yeah, I also wrote down a couple things that I'm usually willing to wake up for at 7 in the morning. Um, so I'm not really an early riser, but here's some things that can typically wake me up quickly at 7 in the morning is either a job that I have to go to, a doctor's appointment, or something leisurely related, like a trip or a vacation or Disneyland or something like that is opening or something. I'm going to Disneyland the as soon as the rope drops or whatever. Those things can wake me up pretty quickly at 7 a.m. But work in the sun is not really one of those things that can make me like pop up. But this was something that was just like, it was like revelatory. It was just sort of like, wow, like doing something that means something. It it can drive you. There's like purpose in the work. There's something. There's meaning to it. There's community behind it, and uh, and so yeah, that was an eye opener. And let me see what else I wrote down here. I just jotted down it was nice to serve the community rather than someone's bottom dollar, the almighty wallet. Uh, Also, I think it was an overall better use of my time than doing like most jobs, because most jobs just don't have any purpose behind them. Not that every job needs a purpose, but you should find some sort of joy or purpose in what you're doing, because then it's just everyone just dreads going to something that they think is pointless or meaningless or oppressive. Doesn't help anyone, doesn't help your coworkers, doesn't even help your supervisors. It helps, stockholders. It helps the people that own the company. It helps BlackRock and Vanguard and billionaires and bankers, and doesn't help anyone. Like nobody's being helped by working most jobs. But this was something that it just hit different. So it was an overall better use of my time. And I'm not like a big progressive socialist or anything like that. But I really think we need to rethink and rework work. Like work needs to be rethought or redone fundamentally. Like our mentality of work, our the type of work we do, how long we work. Like these are all things that need to be rediscussed, because we've been sold a bill of goods that's this isn't it's not adequate. This is not something we can keep doing, and people are waking up to that fast and hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard truth to take in, but we as a nation need to rethink how we work the working class, how we treat people in the working class, because there is a class issue going on. Um, but yeah, and I covered down the sort of the 40-hour work week. It's just it was a lie. It was a total scam to think that that's adequate to give someone 2 days of rest. Like most people have errands to run on those days, or they're just so burnt out. I see on YouTube and TikTok compilations that people that work full-time jobs, especially who work two jobs or a lot of overtime at their one job, they're so burnt out that they can't even take time to enjoy life. They don't go do anything. They don't have any hobbies. All they want to do is be home, cook, chill, sleep, and just be grounded for a moment. Just being grounded for a moment, just having a moment to yourself or with some other, you know, person that you love is just sort of like all you can really squeeze in. That's all people can muster to do. Um, so many people are just burnt out, and it's not adequate to give people like 2 days and 2 weeks of vacation. I mean, that's also another thing. I mean, like sick time is a foreign concept in Europe. In Europe, they don't really think about sick time. If you're sick, you're sick. Also, up front, everyone gets like a month of vacation up front. Not They don't have to have a carrot dangled in front of them. They don't need to be told that they need to work for a year before they get 1 week or 2 weeks of vacation. Just up front, boom, here's your 3 weeks, here's your month and some change. They just give them that time. And if they need a day for when they're sick, that's not an issue. Granted, I'm sure it can be abused over there as it is over here sometimes, but to think that you'd give someone a number of days they're allowed to be sick, especially considering at my last job, I got sick like 3 times. It wasn't I didn't That's never happened prior to COVID, but post COVID, there's been a couple instances where I've gotten sick like 3 times in a row, which is like so strange. That's never happened to me in life. But that's part of one of the reasons why I got fired. The other reason they were just cleaning out the department, fired all the people in. But that's a whole other thing. Let me get back to the video. I talk about that so much. Sorry. That's the one track mind that I have about this whole thing is my own experience. But here's a different experience that I'm trying to outline. So stay with me for a second. So people can't really enjoy their days off. They're burnt out. Oh, here's another thing. Being away from a structured work environment where I have to rigidly show up, early, drive, commute, work, 10-minute break, 30-minute lunch, 10-minute break, go home. Which that's awful. Like as soon as I explain, like, get ready for work, drive to work, 10-minute break, 30-minute break, 10-minute break, go home. Like that's the whole day. That's what all people are looking forward to, is their quick break or the quick lunch. And the 30-minute lunch is something I'm not even going to bother getting into right now. But we all know that's wholly insufficient at this point. We all know that's not a good break, 30 minutes to run to your car and sit down and watch Instagram videos or whatever. That's an awful deal. But yeah, being away from like a rigid structured system has been good for my overall health. I've noticed, I'm not going to get too much into my health stuff, but overall, I think in a general broad sense, my health has been doing much better. And I told this to my mom, who's having some health concerns right now, which again, I will keep private. But I told her that these health issues that she's having, they would go away as soon as she left her oppressive job. And her job is very oppressive because they've treated her very wrong. They've wronged her many times, and she's told me of things they've done or said or arranged, or how they point the finger at her all the time for whatever that's not even her fault. They just accuse her of things even when she's just following protocol, or she's just working in a really stressful environment where she does a lot more than what she was originally tasked to do, more than what her assigned work, because she's a faithful worker. She works hard. She always puts her best foot forward. But I told her that these health issues that she's going through, I told her, I promise you, they'll go away if you quit this job or find something else part-time or find something else less stressful. And she turned to me and she said, you know what? My doctor said the same thing. And I believe it. She told me, like, my doctor told me that as soon as I quit this job, all of these health issues are just going to go. They're just going to go the wayside, because it's all stress related. All of this stuff is work stress related. There's so much like actual physical ailments happening right now because people in America are overworked and overstressed. And I'm not a big, and those are all my notes, by the way. I'm not a big advocate of saying everything is related to mental health or mental health awareness day. I think a lot of that is very corporatized. Mental health awareness day, or mental health, I don't know. I think people who talk a lot about mental health in a corporate setting aren't really concerned about mental health, because mental health is having some sort of genuine work-life balance, having some semblance of a life outside of being a drone, a cog, or a grease on a wheel to make a big factory machine churn out more nonsense. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I just know that my mom would be doing a lot better if she just left her job, because people are so burnt out. People aren't making ends meet, and people that are even well to do, making a lot of money right now, are having trouble cobbling the funds to, I don't know, do whatever. I mean, I have family members who are pretty tight with their budget right now, even though they're making more than me and my mom combined by themselves. There's there's people who just don't have the money, who make a lot of money, but it's just as soon as it comes in, it goes out. Like with all their expenses or a mortgage or a car, or blah blah blah, this, that, the other, credit cards. Like, even well-to-do, well-off people are struggling right now, and part of the part of the burnout is not just not being able to afford the things we used to be able to afford before, but it's also just people are burnt out. People are burnt out by the system, and I got to experience a different side of that today, where I volunteered at a farm early in the morning, to early to me, and worked in the sun, carrying like sandbags of like fertilizer, and wrapping up hose wire, not hose wire, hoses, like just plastic hoses, just winding them up and zip tying them. You know, it was like 85 degrees outside. It was swelteringly hot. It was like almost 90, I think. By the time I left, it was like almost 90 degrees. But it was just something exciting to do. I was excited to serve. I was excited to be a part of something. I didn't mind the hard work. I was willing to work more. So I don't know if other employers would be able to capture that same essence that I walked out of this experience with today, of being able to get employees excited. Because, they always try to say, get excited, we're going to be doing this, or get excited, everyone, we're going to have a pizza party, or get excited, everyone, we're past expectations, everyone's getting a $50, $20 bonus, or whatever. Like, people don't get excited for any of that. It's just sort of like, or, whatever, gift cards, Best Buy, Walmart gift cards for Thanksgiving. We're just so over it. We're done. That's enough. That's all there is. That's all she wrote. We're so tapped. We're checked out. This is like, people they're just burnt out. They're burnt out from being burned. And I don't want to risk repeating myself more than I already. So I'll probably just end the video here. But thanks for your time, and thanks for checking out my YouTube channel if this is your first time. And check out my other videos if any of them seem appealing to you. Appreciate it for any support, likes, subscribe, whatever. Or just if this was all you wanted to watch, that's fine. Thanks for watching. Take care.